For the record, we, like many others, used to hold the view that Toto Wolff was a virtue signaller who was taking the high moral ground in response to the attempts by Red Bull to drag Formula One into the gutter where it now resides. However, after he hosted a freak-out party, in the wake of the darkest moment in any sport, after Sir Lewis was cruelly robbed of his 8th title, we reversed our opinion. Consequently, we saw him as a sociopath, Formula One's equivalent of Sean P. Diddy Combs, a ruthless team owner. Our view was crystallized when he subsequently withdrew the appeal to the theft of Sir Lewis's 8th title. We saw him as a sociopath who had exploited an opportunity to not pay Sir Lewis the remuneration that would go with him being a record-breaking 8-time world champion. In addition, he would not have to pay the massive legal fees that would come with appealing the theft. On top of that, he would be able to extract some personal concessions from Liberty Media, which for example could explain the sudden appointment of his wife as the CEO of the inaugural F1 Academy. Once our opinion changed, we started to see the woods for the trees. We started to see Toto Wolff for what he truly is, and many events since then repeatedly reaffirmed our negative opinion of him. In addition to his wife's conspicuous appointment by F1, he was dismissive of the FIA investigation, which had found that Sir Lewis had indeed been cheated, but took no steps to pursue the reversal of the results, nor request an apology at the barest minimum. Furthermore, Toto's sudden conversion as an outspoken defender of Liberty Media ran contrary to so many of his earlier positions about Sir Lewis and Mercedes being targeted by F1, but fitted perfectly with his exposure as a sociopath. For example, his robust defense of Liberty Media following the Las Vegas manhole scandal ran contrary to what was expected by responsible team principals, as aptly demonstrated by Ferrari's Frederic Vasseur. Once we recognized the woods for the trees, we became aware of other evidence that Toto Wolff was also a Woods. For those of you who don't know, Woods is an acronym for White's Only One Day Soon. Yes, we have since become aware of evidence that Toto Wolff is a Woods disciple, and we present that evidence now for your attention. By way of a brief background, it should be noted that for many, racism is a fluid concept spanning a spectrum, from conscious to unconscious, institutional to individual. There are those who believe that people can be unconsciously racist, without realizing that they are being racist. Others can be beneficiaries and key players in organizations that are institutionally racist, without seeing themselves as racists, upholding the racism underpinning that institution. For others, the institutional racism is just a fact of life, which political correctness prevents people from expressing openly. There are many examples of racism in all layers of society, but this video focuses on sports and Toto Wolff. There are many who can acknowledge and celebrate black excellence in sports, at the field level, while holding a deep-seated racist ideology, which is only exposed when their unguarded statements come to light. For example, Donald Sterling, who is featured in the thumbnail, was the billionaire property mogul, who had been federally prosecuted for being a racist, as part of a housing discrimination lawsuit that ended with him paying millions in damages. He had also lost a racial discrimination lawsuit brought by the black former manager of his basketball team, the Los Angeles Clippers. In another case, he was reported to have used the N-word when asking a prospective coach why he thought he could coach black people. All these incidents had him labeled as eccentric, until he was recorded chastising his half-black half-Latina girlfriend, who is featured alongside him in the thumbnail, for associating with black people. Of course, this raises the question of public tolerance for racism, and how the owner of a basketball franchise, whose fortune and success was built on the sporting excellence of black players, can chastise his half-black half-Latina girlfriend for associating with black people. That is the conundrum which establishes that there are some levels that deep-seated racism will not allow sociopathy to cross. Donald Sterling's sociopathy could tolerate making money off and celebrating black players, having a half-black, half-Latina girlfriend, but having her openly associating with black people was just a bridge too far. Well, we believe that is the same conundrum for Toto Woods. Oops, Sorry, Toto Wolff. We contend that Toto Woods is the team owner and principal, who had no problem celebrating and benefiting from Sir Lewis's excellence as a racing driver, but having him surpass Michael Schumacher's 7 World Championship titles was just a bridge too far. The evidence of Toto Wolff's Woods ideology is contained in the interview that he granted to a German media outlet on the eve of the tragic December 12, 2021 race in Abu Dhabi. In this interview, which was published on December 11th, Toto openly declared that even if Sir Lewis won his 8th title the following day, he would never be bigger than Michael Schumacher. In our previous video we were at pains to point out that by this time, Sir Lewis had equaled, broken and significantly surpassed any key record that Michael Schumacher had, so the question was already moot. So, how the hell is his team owner and principal ventilating such a notion? It should be noted that Toto Wolff and Sir Lewis joined Mercedes F1 at the same time, so Toto had no professional experience of working with Michael Schumacher, who at that time was the undisputed greatest, precisely because of the records that he held. So, why would Sir Lewis surpassing the only key record that Michael had left, not make him the undisputed greatest? Why would Toto Wolff, who had no discernible relationship with Michael Schumacher, speak this way about the driver he had an 8-year uninterrupted relationship with? Why would this white Austrian national be so defensive of the greatness of this white German, at the expense of his own black British driver? Could it be that Sir Lewis's 8th title was the Donald Sterling bridge that Toto Wolff's sociopathy could not cross? Does this explain why Toto Wolff colluded with Nico Rosberg to upset Sir Lewis's trajectory to greatness in 2016? Is this what Toto Woods was celebrating at his freak-out party? Is this why he was so quick to withdraw the appeal? Could this be the reason why the performance of the Mercedes car has dropped off so dramatically? Our view of Toto Woods is not based solely on his refusal to acknowledge Sir Lewis as greater than Michael Schumacher, who we have the utmost love and respect for, but also on his comments in that same interview, that John Malone's villain, JMV, would be a deserving winner. This comment, which to us was even more outrageous than the attack on Sir Lewis's greatness, runs contrary to what had been going on during the season. This was a wholly inappropriate comment given Red Bull's outrageous attacks on Sir Lewis and Mercedes, on and off track, throughout the season, coupled with JMV's antics on track. JMV's on-track antics had been so alarming that Toto Woods and Mercedes had seen fit to bring lawyers to the race, just in case JMV pulled some stunt during the race. Sir Lewis had to be conscious of driving in a manner that would not present JMV with the opportunity of crashing into him. So, why would Toto Woods not have taken the opportunity of the interview to put JMV and the world on notice? Now, with the benefit of hindsight and seeing the Woods clearly, it appears that Toto Woods was preparing the ground for what he and those who did not want a black driver to win a record-breaking 8th title intended to do during the race. Toto's pre-race comment about JMV deserving to win the title suggests to us that he was getting their Woods excuses in early. There are many like us who first heard the deserving comments from his wife in the wake of the robbery. At that time, we put it down to a sign that they were preparing the grounds for withdrawing their appeal. But now that we know he had made those comments before the race, it suggests to us that there was a plan for Sir Lewis to suffer some injustice to deny him the title, and for Toto to give the impression that they had made strenuous efforts to challenge the pre-planned injustice. His half-hearted "No, no, Mikey" protestation,
"No, Mikey, no, Mikey, that was so not right,"
sits oddly against his claim that he punches back twice as hard when provoked, which resonates more with his robust defense of Liberty Media. Critically, immediately after the robbery and before his freak-out party, Woods found the time to congratulate JMV on his deserving victory. This is not what one would expect from somebody who was lodging a good-faith appeal against that same victory. Carrying on with the turtle-necked statement, after the freak-out party, screamed sociopath at the time, and now we can add Woods to it, in light of the 11th of December interview. The subsequent contract that he offered to Sir Lewis now has the appearance of a constructive dismissal, intended to encourage Sir Lewis to quit F1. Furthermore, his decision to sue the FIA for crossing a red line, when they rightly opened a conflict of interest investigation into his wife, working at a high level with the organizers of the races that he competes in, runs contrary to his rationale for dropping the appeal into the worst example of cheating in sports, by that same body. Disingenuously attributing the robbery to one man, whose decision was subsequently upheld by the appeals panels, is beneath contempt. Why would Sir Lewis's team owner and principal be so inclined? Well, we put it down to him being Woods, looking to deny Sir Lewis a record-breaking 8th title. How about you? What do you think? Is Toto Wolff a Woods or just a sociopath?